Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and my other stripper name is Wyatt Burp. I didn't make a lot of money with that one, I'm going to be honest. But while I'm holding you hostage, I figured we'd take a look at the small handful of CJRBs that I own. At some point, way back when, I was looking at some other stuff on Amazon. I think some CRKTs and a couple of other things. And CJRB kept coming up as a recommendation from Amazon. And it looked, especially with the 4 letters as the name, it really looked like one of those sketchy third-rate Chinese companies that's pumping out garbage, and Amazon's just like, well, we'll recommend it. Maybe you'll buy it, sucker. And so I had to dig around and find some reviews online before I did anything about it. And I started looking at CJRB's lineup, and I stumbled across this. And this is the CJRB Tigress. And they had one in like a navy blue and black, and then they had this one in white, red, and black. And eventually, it got its matching D20. I love the vibe on this, especially with this thing, but let's flick the bean. You got a nice little pocket cleaver here that looks kind of like a transformer. I mean, it's really got that Michael Bay vibe. And I have carried this a good bit. It's picked up some grunge and some grime. You know, it's been put through some cardboard, some plastic. It treats me pretty well. However, in the waistband, it does hotspot a little bit. And your pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. Let's see how the edge is after a while and no sharpening. I think it's been about 2.5 years since I got this thing, something like that. Let's flick the bean again. So it's held up well. It's held up well, but again, like, I am not a hard use case scenario. I'm not. You know, I live in a pretty lightweight environment. I work in a pretty lightweight environment. All these things really cut is plastic, cardboard, paper, and sometimes strapping off of pallets, but that's also just plastic, but really angry, hardcore plastic. But, so I picked this thing up. I've carried it. The only thing I could really say about it negative is that it hot spots in a few different areas at once in the waistband, but if it's in your pocket, you don't notice it. It's not a big deal. It's also not super heavy for a pocket cleaver. It's on the heavy side, don't get me wrong. She's got a little bit of gravity to her, but it's not that bad. This thing has been pretty decent. For the price, I can't remember what I paid, but it was a pretty fair price for it. And honestly, I got my money's worth out of it. You know, I do like carrying it once in a while, even with the hot spotting. You know, that's kind of how much I like the look and the vibe of this thing. And especially, I'm going to show it off. That D20 just sets it off so hard. The next thing I got, I was looking at some stuff, and then this thing popped up. And this is the Artisan Cutlery Hover Wing. And CJRB here is an offshoot of Artisan, unless I'm sorely mistaken, but I don't think I am. But the look of this thing really caught my eye, just right out of the gate. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way this is designed, and I figured a blue and white lanyard to be the way to go with this. I feel like it suits it pretty well. But this is the hover wing. Let's flick the bean. That is a nice firm bean flick, and that is pushing 4 inches on that blade. Like, that is a nice long blade. And, you know, when it's open, the handle is just beautiful. It's comfortable. It does all the things right. The pocket clip is tip up, the Lord's carry. It's not the deepest carry in the world, but it's deep enough. It's been very comfortable in the waistband and treated me pretty nicely. And I'll be honest, when I ordered this, I thought this was going to be closer to a 3-inch blade and a bit smaller, so I can't begin to tell you how delighted I was when I pulled it out of the box. I will say, someone asked about this in the comments of this morning's pocket check, so I had to go look, and you can get one of these for $32 on Amazon right now. That is an Artisan Cutlery Hover Wing for $32, and it's a D2 blade. This thing is seeing a little bit of carry off and on, but it kind of came in at a point where I had so much stuff rotating through my pocket and through my waistband that I haven't really had the time needed to carry it and really put it to work. So we're almost on a factory edge. It hasn't really seen a whole lot of abuse, but yeah, the bad cut's my fault. The paper tends to wad up and doesn't like cutting. That's my fault, but it just looks bad on camera. Yeah, it's a very, very good edge. I think I have put a little bit of wear right in here from cutting strapping off of pallets. The strapping that we get is a very thick, aggressive plastic with some fiber running through it. And because I don't run serrated edges, it takes a lot of force to pop them. But, I mean, the little bit of use I've put on it, it has held up well. And the only other thing that I have right now, CJRB, is going to be the pyrite. And I showed you guys this thing recently, and you know what the pyrite is. If you don't know what the pyrite is, you really haven't been watching YouTube all that long, and you haven't really been keeping an eye on what's happening. You know, this thing is a fantastic button lock, and it's also seen some carry and some light use. I haven't, it's again kind of fell by the wayside because so many things that come in that I've rotated through that it'll see carry once in a while, and I'll be like, oh my god, this thing's awesome. And then it'll go in the drawer and sit there for a month, and then I'll carry it again and be like, oh my god, this thing's awesome, I totally forgot. So, you know, you got the button lock here, and, you know, this thing, pocket clip, tip up, Lord's carry. This is a deep carry pocket clip too. Like, this is pretty much a little bit past the end of the scales. So it is a very deep carry pocket clip. And the thing is, this is my second button lock. I showed you guys it's a VV Cogent, and this, I got it, and I was expecting, you know, kind of like an axis lock to kind of good timing on it and all that, but, you know, it just keeps bouncing back open when I try to close it. If you don't get your timing absolutely perfect, it doesn't want to go. If you get it perfect, it works. And I even tightened the pivot down a few minutes ago to try to make this a little better before I did this video, and it's not better. It's not. It's slower, but it's not better. I thought that would fix it, but it didn't. This thing, it's the timing's a lot better. I'll still have it bounce open when I get a little bit too aggressive with the close like that, but, you know, realistically, the timing on this is so much better. And I thought that this button lock was going to feel like this one when I got it, and I was very disappointed by it. If you saw my video, you know. And when this came in, I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Okay, you know. And this one, the detent kind of grabs it and pulls it in a good bit earlier than this one does. This one kind of grabs and pulls it back in at the last possible second. So, you know, like, you're here and it's not a very strong pull at all. Like, it's very weak. However, with this one, it grabs and it pulls in. It's a little bit stronger, just enough stronger to where it can handle being closed and opened a little bit better. I'm still not the best in the world with a button lock because this is the only button. These are the only two button locks I have right now, and this one is significantly better than this one. However, again, not a lot of carry time. So I do carry this every once in a while, and I do like to fidget with it. And this is one of those things that I'd love to have in my pocket more often right now, but Temugeddon is upon us. And this week's knife, if you saw the preview, you saw it. I got to put it through Cardboard Slayer, and I'm probably not going to get a chance to do that until Friday morning when I'm off work. So that video should be up Friday sometime. But, you know, I wanted to get a video out there, and I wanted to take a look at the CJRBs that I own. And this is another example. You know, a knife company, they do stuff I like. I just don't have a whole lot of their stuff. I'm not one of those guys that goes super brand loyal and just buys tons of that one brand for no discernible reason. You know, I grab stuff that I see that I like. And like CJRB, I've got a good few more of those on the wish list. Artisan, I've got a few of them on the wish list. And by the way, that Monacala Assault Team 1 that I bought, I got one of the letters in the mail for a $15 credit, $15 Amazon card for leaving a review. And I mean, I left a really good review. It's a fantastic knife. I stand by it. That thing is absolutely awesome. But between that and the couple of gift cards I got for Christmas, a new Artisan is on the horizon. As long as everything shows up the way it's supposed to, there will be a new Artisan to take a look at that's been on my wish list for a long time. So, just wanted to share these things, get a video out there for you guys. And all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, thank you so much. Like, more people are showing up. I am so grateful. I love it. Comments, thank you. I love the feedback. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.